solution.
So how you been doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Learning how to adjust with Nick being, in college, and he's come home from college. So
His first year is over now, right?
First year in college.
How do you do?
Good. So he's still in college, so good. I'm happy about that.
Yep, that's good. That's good.
I thought he was going to transfer, but...
Where you want him to transfer
Well,
to?
he was thinking about transferring to Fort Valley or Savannah with Emory.
So he probably still can.
Yeah, he can if he wants to. And how have you been adjusting to life?
It's good. I moved. I moved further north, and so that's good. It makes things easier to get in back and forth in Atlanta. So I'm happy about that, and just adjusting to my new area, and Justin, and being in high school now. Justin's in high school, and Jalen graduated, and now he's at Kennesaw, and being a grandma now, and so just surprised of that. So I'm good though. I've been doing good.
Do you remember how we met?
Yes, girl, I do. In that concession stand, oh my goodness, things were so different back then. It was, meeting with basketball. We were basketball moms, so we met through basketball in the high school, and our kids, your son's a little younger than mine, but they played on the same team, and we had to take over basically, the team, because the team had been, I don't want to say neglected, but before we came, nobody really took the initiative. So that was fun. I think that was a good time to,
I enjoyed our moments, like basketball. And I remember meeting you, but I also remember you in the rec league. I do. Okay. I remember seeing your face when our boys were younger. But then when we met in high school at Luella, it was just like, that's my basketball ball.
I know, right? Yeah,
and we just clicked. We really did click. And those concession stands, I miss them so much.
Oh, that drama.
Oh my goodness.
I was happy when it was over, honestly. I was like, okay, I'm done with that. And then Justin doesn't play sports, so it's a different life for a different kid.
It's a relief when the kids graduate and you don't have that responsibility, but it was fun. And we made it fun, I think. Together, we were like a family, that close-knit family. Crazy thing about it is when you left, it felt like everything, and of course, when Coach Bailey left, it was just different.
Yeah,
because we had a family atmosphere.
Right, yeah. It was good. It was a fun time. It was kind of for me, because I was going through so many other things that, it was good and bad memories for me, because what was going on at home, I was, going through a divorce and everything, Jalen's senior year, and COVID, because we were there before COVID.
Goodness. COVID, that was crazy.
And then that was the school year, I think, the first school year we were together, and then we made it through basketball season, then COVID hit, at the end of that year. Was it that year?
Yeah, and we started lives.
Yeah.
And then we started the podcast.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Because then when COVID hit, we were all at home and we figured out, I think you figured all that out. You were great.
Well, you were talking about a podcast because you kept saying, I want to do a podcast. I want to do a podcast.
And
I was like, that's okay. And then we did those lives. That was fun.
Yeah, so we started What Women Crave.
Yes.
So we started as basketball moms and figured that we had a lot in common because when we would spend the time together, we were like, oh, you do that? And we saw each other online.
Yes,
and we were
did.
we talk about the same stuff,
Right.
you know, and it was crazy. So I was like, you know, and I thought that was fun when we first started. And looking back now at that, it's like, wow, we really did that. We had people coming on.
I know. We look at all our guests.
I know, that was fun. And going on other people's podcasts, we ended up doing that.
And then you remember Dante?
Oh, yes. I seen him in person one time. I was like, look at Dante. So, yeah, that was cool, you know, and it was a good way to pass the time.
It was, and that was what we needed during that time. And I think people needed What Women Crave during that time. And then the love for your, like, wanting to empower women.
Right. Yeah, that was cool. That was cool. Yeah, I think the whole, you know, COVID, getting through that with that and being able to still socialize was important. And I think that was good for us. So when we started, I don't think either one of us was 40 yet. I think you might have turned 40, you know, during that time. But how have you been adjusting since you've been in your 40s now? Like, how do you feel about being in your 40s?
It's been a big adjustment. Having a grown son that really doesn't depend on me and me being able to just have so much freedom it's just different. And I've had to adjust to that. And it's been in a good way. Like, it's really been a great way of adjusting. And I love my newfound freedom. But again, I also miss like being able to be in the gym and be that basketball mom. And there's some things that you kind of grieve. Like, I've grieved that part of life where I realized that I won't get that back. Like, I don't have another son. So that high school years and us being in the concession stands and screaming and fussing, I don't get that back. So that's the part that I miss. What about you?
I enjoyed my 40s, honestly. Like, I feel like I've calmed down so much, you know, and I just kind of go with the flow of life now, and I'm just more relaxed, and I'm a lot quieter than I was and more reserved. You know, I'm more laid back. I'm not trying to change, you know, like my external environment anymore. I spent a lot of my 30s trying to change externally what was going on around me, and now just accepting life, you know, in general. And I think my 40s brought that on. And I feel like, you know, like right around COVID, around that time, my that really changed me. And I think that, you know, yoga and everything else that I do has really contributed to that as well. So, you know, I really enjoy being in my 40s, and I'm learning myself, you know, like learning what I like, what I don't like. You know, Jalen has been grown a couple years now, and Justin is coming up. So, you know, just kind of trying to be a good parent, a good mom, but also a good person to myself, you know, and learning how to love myself. So I really, you know, I feel like my 40s have been like I don't know, just like a breakthrough time for me to figure, like, I see now people younger than us, and I'm like, I know like they're trying to control and manipulate things around them. And in my 40s now, I'm so liberated. I feel like I don't have to manipulate anything or try to change, just accepting whatever it is as it is. You know, I think that's a great part of being 40s. Like, you know, you finally start to realize, you know, you just let life be. Yeah, and that's what I learned too, because I used to always like have this time frame. And so everything was supposed to be in this time frame. But now that I'm in my 40s, I realize that life is a journey. And we plan, and it's great to plan. I love planning, I love goal setting. But at the end of the day, you know, go on those scenic routes. And those scenic routes are important.
So I'm learning to adjust to those scenic routes and enjoy the moment and not just worry about, oh, when I get this age. Because in my 30s, I was like, oh, when I'm in my 40s, Nick is going to be this age and I'm still going to be young. And then it came so fast. So now I won't even count down how old he's going to be when I'm 50. I don't even want to know.
Right.
Like I'm not trying to calculate it because I want to enjoy the moment. And that's what I'm learning, to enjoy the moment. And one thing I'm also doing is taking the invite. So when people invite me out, they want to go somewhere, I'm like, let's go. Because life is meant to be lived. So that's one thing that I'm learning in my 40s as well.
Me too. Yeah, I try and do that. And also for me, I try and sit home too more because I enjoy that. You know, like I'm realizing I used to not want to be left out of anything. Like I'm going. Y'all going here? I'm going. I'm going there. And now it's like, I don't think I'm going to enjoy that, so I'm not going. You know, and that it's liberation in that as well. You know, like I used to go on trips with my family. You know, like my sisters and brother, and you know, just going because they're going, and I didn't want to be left out. I didn't want to miss something. And now I'll be like, that don't sound too, you know, enjoyable to me now. And so I'm learning to not go. I really, you know, just being able to spend time with myself. You know, and I think that that's very important too. So I'm just learning, you know, and I'm grateful. I'm early still in my 40s, I feel like, and I just had a epiphany. Like when you're in your 40s, we are still so young, and hopefully, God willing, if we live to be 90, we still got 50 years, you know what I mean? So yeah, so we still got a lot of time to do the things that we want to do, and we're wiser, so much wiser, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Especially that, because I plan on being here till I'm like 100. I've got my grandfather's sister, she is almost 101.
Wow. And
still in good health and everything. So I see you saying you choosing yourself. Are you choosing to be single? Are you dating? What are you doing?
Well, I'm single. I am single. I'm grateful to be single. You know, I spent a bulk of my life in relationships, you know, with either, you know, my son's fathers or being married. I divorced in 2021, so almost 3 years ago now. I was going through the divorce 3 years ago. So, yeah, I'm choosing this. And at first I was like, oh my goodness, because I had never been single. Like I went from one relationship to the next one to the next one, and I hadn't spent any time just with myself. So when I first got here, I was like, this is crazy. You know, like I didn't, it was an adjustment, a huge adjustment. But now that I've been single for a while, you know, I really like it. Like, you know, being able to do what I want to do when I want to do it. If I want to stay in the bed in the morning and do nothing for a few hours, I can, without having to worry about what anybody else thinks, or, you know, and too, like their mood. You know, you wake up and you're like, what kind of mood is somebody else in? And that impacts your mood and your day. And what about you? Do you choose to be single?
Right now, I'm choosing to be single, and I wanted to be married for so long. But, you know, life, again, that scenic route. So I'm single, and I guess there's a plan for me being single. And one of the things that I want to do now is concentrate on things that I love. So I concentrate on my passions. And I think if I were to get involved with someone, that would kind of, you know, it would shade my my vision. So I choose to be single just because, again, I'm just going after my passion and my purpose. And I wanted to be married for so long, but now I want, also now that I'm in my 40s, I want to pursue the things that I didn't get to do in my 20s and 30s when I was raising Nick. And I love taking care of Nick. I love being basketball mom. I love all of that. But I just choose to be single for right now and go after my passion.
Right. You talk about Nick. How do you feel, you know, that about raising Nick, you know, single by yourself?
Well, I don't like the term single, okay? Because I remember hearing a sermon, I want to say it was Bishop Eddie Long when he was alive, but he was like, there's nothing single about you, you're a whole person. So being single, I've had a village. And so it's this whole person raised Nicholas with her village. And I have my mom, my dad, all the mentors, and even Nick's dad, you know, he's been around. And I've also, even though we don't see, you know, eye to eye in a lot of things, I've never talked bad about him. And I just think that that village helped to raise Nicholas and to make for Nicholas to be who he is. So I don't do that single mom, you know, type of thing, because it took a village to help raise him.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about that word, that term, single mom?
Single mom. Yeah, you know, honestly, I don't think that we have a choice. So it's like we gonna raise our children. You know, I was married. I was in a relationship 11 years. So my kids had the 2-parent household for 11 years. But it's a term also that they call a single married mother or married single mother or something like that, where even though you're married, you still are doing a lot of things alone as a single person because the father may not be interested, or in my case, be wilding out or whatever, you know what I mean? So a lot of stuff I did on my own, but honestly, like now being a single grandma, you know, because I'm a grandma now, it's like, wow, you know what I'm saying? Like I never thought that. Like I'm like, wow, my grandson doesn't have a pawpaw. But you know, it's okay, and I don't mind, and you know, I feel like you said, I'm whole, and that was one thing that I was envisioning for myself when I went through my divorce initially, was I wanted to be full by myself and complete, because I feel like I spent a lot of my life, a bulk of my life, looking for completion from somebody else and not finding it. I'll start there and I'm like, oh, I feel complete, I feel good, and then after so long they start disappointing me, and then I'm back to looking for that completion from somebody else. So I just feel like being single and as a single mother, it's been okay, you know, and I don't like like I said, I don't like that term either, because we didn't have a choice. What you gonna do? Exactly. You know, you gotta raise your kids. It's good to have a village. Yes. You know, it's very good to have a village.
So what's the difference between being a mother and a grandmother? Because I can't wait to be a grandmother, even though I can wait, but does that feel like your own child? What is the difference?
I think it's like a life hack. Like, wow, you know, you get this baby that reminds you of your baby. So it's like nobody ever tells you that you get to experience your children again and their children. Like, you know, my grandson, he reminds me so much of my son. And that was such a it wasn't that long ago, but it was, you know, so to be able to hold something that feels so familiar, you know what I mean? Like, I just, you know, it feels really good. And then also you can tell them, take them home. So it's like you can play with them, keep them, watch them. And as a mother, you know, we have these nurturing spirit and, you know, just about us. So you get to do that again. You get to take care of a baby again. I had my grandson a couple days ago and he was all greased up. I said, it look like your grandma take care of you. You know how you be like, you over your grandma's house, you be living your best life. That's, you know, you get to do that. You have so much more patience. And you know what's important as a grandparent, opposed to like when you were a parent. For me, I spent a lot of my kids' younger life trying to survive, you know, and make it.
Survival mode.
Yeah, so now as a grandma, I'm already kind of settled and you know, I'm not in a survival mode anymore, so I can kind of just, you know, nurture his creativity and do things like that I didn't do for my kids. So it's like you get a chance, a do-over. So I'm excited to do it. I'm excited to do sports again. I hope he play. I think he left-handed too, so I think that's gonna be great. Okay. So yeah, you know.
That's gonna be great, because I wish, like I said, I had another child. So me not having another child, I guess that's how I'll experience having another child through my grandchildren. Nick actually asked me a couple weeks ago, one day we were driving, because he plays in the men's league, and we were driving, he was like, Mom, I thought you were gonna have more kids? And I was like, I did too. You know, I had named my daughter Naomi, so maybe he'll name his daughter Naomi.
Right.
And I had planned all these big plans. I said, but you know what? Hopefully you'll have children, and those will be like my children. So I'm excited about that. But I'm wondering, is that when I hear you talk about that, is that the reason why you're so calm? Because you're like this different Chantel that's so calm.
I am.
The what
so
women
different.
crave Chantel was like, okay, I'm gonna give it to you this way. But this Chantel is very, very calm.
I am. I'm different. I think that's years of meditation and yoga now. I'm just a more reserved person. I'm just very reserved now. So, you know, and I'm being single. And too, honestly, I feel like when you with somebody and attach to that person, their energy, you know, it will transfer to you when you sleep with somebody every night. And, you know, honestly, like, so I'm different because this, I believe, is really me, because I don't have the energy of anybody else on me. So, you know, and talking, you know, speaking more about that, being just with you, what do you feel the world's perception is of us as single women? How do you feel the world perceives us?
I feel like the world perceives single women as, and I hate to put the term black women, but the single black woman is so strong. And I think sometimes they feel like we are not supposed to be able to just feel soft and be who we are. But yeah, but hold on.